Whether it's a dysfunctional family, crazy politicians, being a victim of emotional incest, having a cubicle next to a coworker who suffers from it, we all need ways to deal with narcissists in our lives. Hang on, I'm going to be back with 5 tips to defend against narcissists. So narcissism is making the news more and more and more. We're more aware of how it impacts people. We're more aware of where it comes from for the person who is a narcissist. We're more aware of not only how it impacts society, but also, of course, on a personal level. If we're involved with or we're parented by somebody who's a narcissist, it can have lifetime implications, and we need to be aware of it. We need to be able to defend against it. Number 1, in dealing with a narcissist, you declare what your intentions are, what you want, what your boundaries are. Doesn't really matter what they want, what they're trying to tell you, want, doesn't really matter. Put the focus on you, because a narcissist is all about trying to get in there and trying to impact you, influence you, make you think perhaps you're less than, make you think you're doing something wrong. So it's just putting up that boundary mentally that you're fine, you know where you're coming from, you know what your intentions are, and then that helps you construct these healthy boundaries around you. Use very clear communication, be very direct, very concise. Doesn't mean you get defensive. It doesn't mean you have to be argumentative. It also doesn't mean you have to go on the offensive. To the contrary, this is simply a calm way of you reasserting to yourself and to people around you who you are, what you want. Step number 2 ties into step number 1, and that you're going to let them huff and puff all they want. There is no point in trying to get in there and fix a narcissist, to try to change them, to try to win over them, that you're going to counter them and you're going to be victorious. This is not about going to war at all with them. You're never going to win that, especially if they're a little bit unstable. You're not going to change their mind about anything, nor should you even necessarily try. So a narcissist is all about huffing and puffing themselves up, right? Because they're not having a lot of confidence inside. They really don't know themselves or even maybe like who they really are. So they compensate for that by all the huff and puff and the arrogance and making everything larger than life. Well, you don't need to change that. In fact, actually engaging with them and trying to win an argument, let's say, is probably going to suck you in more and make the situation now even worse, because now the narcissist sees that you want to play with them. Oh, they can play a game with you and they can play and play and play. So you don't want to get entangled in that with a narcissist. The best thing to do is to just ignore them, because by paying attention to them, they're going to get some satisfaction from that. That's what they want, the satisfaction of being noticed. They need to be noticed. So the best way to work with that is don't notice them, ignore them, and then they're going to have to go find somebody else to go play their little game with. Oftentimes they're trying to get you to take the bait. They want you to fight with them. So remember, don't take the bait. Number 3 is get the heck out of Dodge if you can. So if it's a family member that you're around, if you have the ability to move out, if you're old enough and you have the means to get your own place, do it. Move out. Get your own place. Because to be around a narcissist lifelong in a relationship, let's say, is only going to be detrimental to you. You're the one who's going to pay the price, not the narcissist. They're quite happy being who they are and spouting off the way they do. But you are going to pay the price. So you're going to need to figure out a way to get yourself away from this toxic energy if you can, if you're able. Number 4 is have empathy for them. Now remember, empathy is different from accepting something or having acceptance for a situation. You don't necessarily have to accept it, but you can certainly have empathy for the person who is the narcissist. That's a sad way to live one's life. It comes from a very lonely, insecure place. It's a way of defending against the big void that they feel inside themselves. So that's a tough way to live, right? So if you have somebody in your life who's going through this, who is a narcissist, you can certainly protect yourself, but it doesn't mean you can't have empathy for them, for their situation. Remember, having empathy is the exact opposite of being a narcissist. They're not capable of having empathy. That's part of what a narcissist is all about. They're not capable of understanding other people's feelings. So not only are you demonstrating what you're all about, but also you're being a good role model for your friends, for other coworkers, for your family. Maybe you're raising kids and you're trying to show them what it means to have empathy for others. Number 5 ties into number 4 a little bit, and then I want you to celebrate that you're not a narcissist. Celebrate that. Know that you feel good about life because you are able to connect with people in an authentic way. You are able to have empathy and that you care about people's feelings and your own feelings as well. This is something to be celebrated because it means you're in touch with who you are. And therapeutically speaking, as a therapist, that is going to help you in life in so many ways, aside from just what we're talking about right now about narcissism. It means you're capable of making connections. It means you're capable of being authentic. It means you're capable of showing true love. It means you're capable of incredible emotional growth in your life, capable of what a narcissist is not capable of, but we can still have empathy for them and protect ourselves from them. So I hope this is helpful. Having narcissists in our world is just a reality. We all have to deal with it, sometimes more on a personal level for some and sometimes more on a political level for others. So it indeed is something that we need to communicate about, which is why I'm making this video. Please leave me some comments below. I'd love to hear if you have a narcissist in your life who's impacting you on some level. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like these kind of videos. And until next week, this is Brad Shore signing off from Ask a Shrink.